Hello, this is Riding with Ree. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new here. You might be able to see behind me that there are some rugs sort of flowing quite romantically in the breeze, and that's because today we're doing a tack haul. This is something that a lot of people have requested on multiple platforms and I keep seeing it pop up, so I'm going to film it today. I'm going to take you through an array of my equipment, when I bought it, what it is, why I bought it, etc, etc. So if you have any questions or comments, do leave them below. Thank you so much for all of the messages and comments from last week's fun ride vlog, or not last week's, but the recent fun ride vlog. We're both fine, as I said, but it's lovely to hear that that resonated and that that was something that you liked, like having that kind of transparency. So I'll definitely bear that in mind for future videos. Similarly, I had so many messages and DMs from people who watched the Hacking with Confidence video and did something new for the first time, whether that's have a few steps of canter or hack out for the first time on their own. It's so amazing to hear those stories, so thank you so much for sharing. As today we are talking about sort of money and spending and kind of budgeting of the horse world, I did want to let you know that I have a project which you might not know about, which I've had since last year, called Equestrian Money Diaries, where I invite you, equestrians from all over the world, to input their costs monthly, be that riding lessons, part loaning and sharing horses, full loaning horses, or owning horses. There is a form that you can fill in to share your costs anonymously. I don't know who said what, unless you put your email in at the bottom, which is completely optional to let you know when the post goes live. I have no idea that you've even sent it in. So if you do want to share your costs anonymously, you can do that. Equally, if you want to read the Equestrian Money Diaries, I have hundreds of responses from the UK, the US, Ireland, Denmark, Wales, Scotland, all over the place. So if you want to read those, they are on my website, ridingwithree.com. I'm uploading the archives at the moment, so by the time you read this, there should be hundreds for you to read, and I will continue to update the website with new ones. I wanted to share that before we dive in, but I'm going to start off with rugs, so let's head over to the rug section. Of course, if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up and leave me any questions or comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it. Okay, let's start with rugs. It's not actually until I've laid them all out like this I can see how many rugs I have for Woody, but I'm going to start with my turnout rugs, which are just behind me here, and then just over here I have my stable rugs, which we'll move on to in a moment. So I'm going to start with the lightest and work my way up, and I'm going to tell you where I got them from, what I use them for, the temperature that I use them for. One caveat is that obviously there is a general guide for what rug should go on what horse at what temperature, but every horse is individual. Obviously I've had Woody for about a month now, and I've been figuring out when he's too hot, when he's too cold, when he's just right. And I'm really lucky because Woody's on full livery. I've been able to lean heavily on the yard team here and speak to them, like, was he cold this morning, was he hot when you brought him in, and get their advice on which rugs to use. If you are looking at want a bit more advice, you can Google it. I know that Horseware actually has an app now where you can put in the weather where you are, and they will give you obviously the horseware rugs that your horse should wear, but it does give you an idea of similar rugs perhaps from other brands that you would want in that sort of weather. So let's start over here. I will link out to these in the description if you want to read them all. If I can't fit them in, I'll put them in a blog post and link to that. So this is the Rambo Protector Fly Rug. The reason I bought this one in particular is because Rambo is really high quality, and a lot of fly rugs are made from kind of really thin material and they rip really easily, and then of course they're not very good for protecting against insects. So I thought, well, I'd rather buy well and buy more expensive, and it is an expensive rug. I actually managed to find this one online at quite a discount, so that kind of made me want to buy it early. It's kind of ahead. We're not really in fly season yet, it's just April, but since it was in the sale I bought it. So this one in particular actually has UV protection, which is what I was really looking for Woody, because he has a lot of white hair and under that he has a lot of pink skin, which makes him sensitive to the sun. So I wanted something, yes, that would protect against insects, but would also protect him against the sun's rays and make sure he didn't get burnt. So that's the fly rug. Secondly, we have a 0 gram green Premier Equine turnout. So this is one that I bought when I got Woody. It's really good to have 0 gram turnouts. They're essentially a rain sheet, and this one actually comes with a detachable neck, so you can add that if the weather's a bit colder. This is just really good to have in your wardrobe because, as I said on previous videos, Premier Equine and actually Horseware Rambo also have layering systems, which means you can buy top rugs like this and then buy sort of layer rugs that you can put underneath them when it's colder. So it's just a really good rug to have in the wardrobe, but as it's just a rain sheet, it's got no filling, so I'd probably use this when the temperature is say 8 to 12 degrees, and if it's raining I wouldn't necessarily put it on in the hotter temperatures if there's no rain, because it's going to get too warm. But for example, it went up to about 12 degrees today and I had this on Woody. He's fully clipped, so he had it on without the neck, but just to give him a little bit of protection when the wind has been quite cold. So thirdly, moving on to this purple rug. This is a middleweight from Rambo, and these last two rugs I'm going to talk about don't actually have the weight on them. Some of the older rugs don't have the gram weight on them, so this was a gift from a friend, and it's sort of a middleweight rug. I can tell that from feeling the lining and from holding it up, and it is a bit trial and error when they don't have gram weight, but I'd say it's a medium. This one has a neck as well, and it has a sort of lining in the body, so I would put this on Woody when it gets to between say 10 degrees or a little bit lower and down to about 3 degrees, and that's sort of been quite good for him as he's fully clipped and he does get a little bit colder. So that's the purple Rambo. And then finally over here we have a brown Shires turnout. This is the heaviest turnout rug that I have. It's actually the rug that Woody came with, and again I was going by feel. It's quite an old Shires rug, so it doesn't have the gram weight on it, but if you feel it, it's pretty hefty. And this also has a neck which doesn't detach, so which you wouldn't need in the winter anyway. You would want the neck on, but essentially this one I would put Woody in when it goes down from about 3 degrees to the minus temperatures. I haven't yet had to have any more than that, but I think if it got very, very cold in the winter, it might be something I have to revisit. Obviously, I bought Woody in March, so the temperatures, whilst they've been up and down, we haven't had a really cold spell. So we'll have to see next winter whether this is something that we need to upgrade for something a little bit colder. But that is my turnout rugs. Okay, so moving on to stable rugs. Again, I've gone heaviest to lightest as we go along. So firstly, this pink one in the corner is a Mark II Snug Rug. This was a gift from a friend. I've been very lucky, as I said before. I got a friend who cleared out their rug room. They have a lot of big horses and they were like, oh, this is too small and this is too small, so I did get a few that way, which was really, really nice. So this one is probably the heaviest stable rug that I have. I haven't yet used it on Woody, but it will be really handy when the winter time comes. Doesn't have a neck, but it's just an extra layer with a kind of duvet sort of lining. Secondly, we have a Weatherbeeta, the black Weatherbeeta with the neck. This again was a gift from a friend. I would say that that is about a 200 gram rug. So we've been using this at night on its own when the temperatures are between sort of, I don't know, 4 and 10 on its own. And then when the temperatures get a little bit colder, we've been doubling up with this navy Premier Equine rug as well, which is 100 grams and has a detachable neck. So last night, the last few nights, it's gone down to about 0 degrees and then up to about sort of 6 degrees at night. So we've been pairing the 250 gram with the neck and the 100 gram Premier Equine for Woody. Again, he does get cold, he's fully clipped, so we've been piling it on. If we went down into minus temperatures, I'd probably add the neck onto the Premier Equine and have those two rugs together, both with necks. So after that, you can see over here there's a blue rug with a green sort of edging. This is my Thermotex that you might have seen on my travel videos. This again was a gift from a friend. It's essentially a fleece, but Thermotexes are quite thick. They're great for when horses are wet and helping them kind of dry. We used to use them a lot on the Hunters when I was younger. And then on the far right, there's a purple cotton sheet. This is just kind of like a single layer rug. So if the temperature was sort of 10 to 15 and I felt like he needed something at night, we would pop the cotton sheet on. But that is it for the stable rugs. Okay, let's move on to the tack itself. So behind me I have 4 Numnahs and only one of them was actually bought full price. So the first one on the far left, right, the white one, was bought with Half Halt Equestrian and they put their logo on it, so I sort of bought part of it. The second one is the Mieux Numnahs. That is the only Numnah that I have that I bought full price. I just wanted to treat Woody and we didn't have at the time any sort of exciting colours, so I was like, I'm going to treat us. The third one is a Mieux Peacock pad that I actually got secondhand from my local saddle shop. It was about £20, so I bought it. The black one I bought in the Equus sale, and then the Equus team put their logo on it. That is a Weatherbeeta one with merino wool. And then finally, the blue one is Premier Equine. I got that for £19 in the Premier Equine sale. So this is all the ones I have, and I sort of rotate them, change them depending on what I'm doing, and then they get washed. So I don't think we need to have hundreds of Numnahs. These work really well for me, and more importantly, they all were like half price. So so my saddle, I bought this secondhand too. That is a 16-inch black leather Kenton Master saddle. It was £650, and it's got an adjustable gullet. So I bought it because I knew the Kenton Master saddles kind of keep their value, and the leather keeps its value, and the adjustable gullet means it can work on multiple horses. So I will probably change this saddle at some point. It is fine for Woody, but like a little bit small for me, so I'll probably end up changing it. But the stirrups on that saddle are Sprenger stirrups. So I originally had just a normal pair of irons, and then my coach lent me her Sprenger stirrups to ride in for a lesson, and it had such a big difference on my ability to kind of sit in the right place and kind of have my foot in the right place. So I went looking. Sprenger stirrups are very expensive. I mean, like £250, which is, for me, I was like, oh my god, that's insane for a pair of stirrups. So I went looking for a secondhand pair and I actually found a pair for £75 on Facebook Marketplace. So they were in great condition. They just needed a little wipe, but they were fine. The girth I have here is a Shires girth. I believe I got this off Equus as well. I have a discount code for Equus if anyone wants to use it. It's in the bio, or it's in the description. It's also BARD10. And then my bridle, again, was a gift from my lovely friend. He put one together based on things they had in their tack room. I will at some point get Woody a new bridle, and we actually have a bitting clinic coming up at the yard in May, when a bitting specialist will kind of look at how we ride and make a decision on what bit we might want. So I'm going to do that and then get Woody his own bridle. And then finally, just some of the boots we have. So you've probably seen these before. These are my Premier Equine green travel boots. They've been in loads of vlogs. I bought them secondhand, Facebook Marketplace for £30. These are my Shires Armour brushing boots. I bought these full price of Equus with my discount. They've been great so far. I would like to get a pair of open fronted tendon boots for show jumping and cross country boots, but right now it's just the brushing boots that I have. And then I also got some fetlock boots from Premier Equine. These were £10 in their sale because they were purple, but you know, I don't care about the colour. They were really, really cheap. They were meant to be, I think, like 40, so you know, go looking for the bargains. So that is it. I won't dive into every little thing in my grooming box and everything else, but if that is something you are interested in, let me know in the comments and I will be sure to add a second part or a part 2. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.